While asleep, a parasite aimed to control Shinichi's brain by entering through his nose. Quick-thinking Shinichi stopped it by squeezing it, but it sneaked into his right arm instead. The next day, during a rescue attempt, Shinichi discovers his right hand possesses strange abilities, stopping a car. Shocked, he tries to harm his own hand, only to unveil the parasite's true form, rendering the knife useless. Now, Shinichi must reluctantly collaborate with the parasite, hiding it from his parents. Later, the parasite instructs him to confront another parasitic being in a dog, revealing that destroying the host's heart is the only way to defeat it. Shinichi's parasite, Meiji, names itself Meiji, meaning right, after Shinichi impresses Satomi Maruno with a winning basketball shot at school. This sparks jealousy in Kazuki Nagi, leading to a confrontation where Shinichi, initially fearful, is urged by Meiji to fight back. Meanwhile, rumors of brutal murders, termed mincemeat murders, circulate globally. Mickey informs Shinichi about Parasite's cannibalistic survival tactics. Sensing a nearby parasite controlling a man named Mr. B, Meiji leads Shinichi to lure the threat away and opts to kill Mr. B instead of joining forces. The following day, after treating Satomi to pancakes, Shinichi confronts thugs mistreating a cat. This act surprises Satomi, showcasing a shift in Shinichi's behavior. Later, during a school assembly, events unfold with unexpected twists. Shinichi gets shocked to find out that the new math teacher, Ryoko Tamiya, is a parasite who knows his secret. They have a private meeting where Ryoko reveals she doesn't want to fight and asks to meet him after school. They meet and Ryoko introduces her partner, Mr. A, and drops a bombshell. She's pregnant, proving parasites can reproduce as humans. The next day, chaos erupts when Mr. A attacks the school. Shinichi and Meiji plan but disagree on how to handle it. Shinichi lures Mr. A away from the students, leading to a showdown. In a fierce fight, Shinichi strikes Mr. A with a table leg, severely injuring him. Ryoko sacrifices herself, setting off an explosion to save Shinichi. Forced to resign, Ryoko explains that parasites are driven to feed on humans due to their innate directive. Mickey experiments with brief separations from Shinichi's body. Despite worries about the mincemeat murders, Shinichi reluctantly agrees to his parents' beach trip plans. He starts feeling psychological shifts, suspecting changes within himself. When a gang attacks Kazuki, Shinichi steps in but gets beaten up, leaving a gang member, Kane Himishima, sensing something eerie about him. Later, Satomi gets abducted by the gang, and Shinichi, refusing Meiji's help, struggles against them. Thankfully, senior student Kamiju arrives with a group to handle the situation. Kana, a girl who senses something odd about Shinichi, apologizes to Satomi and detects a strange vibe when she shakes hands with him. Meiji concludes that Kana can pick up parasite wavelengths. Meanwhile, a parasite searching for a new body attacks Nobuko, taking her as its host and later attacking Kazuki. Shinichi receives a warning call from his father about his mother, but he's shocked when Nobuko arrives home and harms Shinichi. After she leaves, Meiji merges into Shinichi's body, closing the wound in his chest and saving his life. Shinichi learns his father is in the hospital and vows to eliminate the parasite controlling his mother. On his way to the hospital, he meets Makiko Hayase, a student at a nearby inn. At the hospital, Shinichi becomes frustrated as his father denies witnessing the parasite's attack on his mother. He stays at Makiko's inn, planning his next move to find the parasite responsible for his mother's death. Mickey explains that since fixing Shinichi's heart, its senses are not working properly. The next day, while asleep, Meiji detects a nearby parasite, leading Shinichi to the seawall where he suspects the one behind Nobuko's tragedy might be. Shinichi meets Mamoru Yuta, a person fused with a parasite in his jaw, who saved him from a cliff fall. He shares his encounter with Meiji and his father's hospitalization. Later, Mickey reveals that dispersed cells in Shinichi's body, causing his physical changes. Mamoru senses Nobuko, and Shinichi rushes toward her, but Meiji falls asleep, leaving Shinichi to battle alone. Nobuko injures Shinichi, but Mamoru intervenes, defeating her. After bidding farewell to Makiko, Shinichi returns to school. Ryuko, heavily pregnant and controlled by a parasite, assigns a host to spy on Shinichi. Mitsu suspects Kana's feelings for Shinichi and starts a fight, but Shinichi, displaying newfound strength, defends himself. Observers note Shinichi's changed behavior, especially when he disposes of a dead puppy. However, when Shinichi realizes he's starting to think like Meiji, he gives the puppy a proper burial. At school, he encounters Hideo Shimada, a parasite sent by Ryoko in disguise as a transfer student. Despite Miki not sensing Hideo as a threat, Kana mistakes his approach for Shinichi's. Shinichi warns Hideo to stay away from his friends, acknowledging Kana's ability to sense certain wavelengths. Hideo questions why Shinichi can't always detect him, suspecting a weakness in his parasite. Meanwhile, the police chief interviews Shinichi's father about the parasite that attacked Nabucco. Yuko becomes suspicious of Hideo, witnessing him survive a baseball hit without injury. While trying to mend things with Satomi, Shinichi is interrupted by Meiji, sensing Hideo preparing to confront Mitsuo's gang. Shinichi warns the gang to stay clear of Hideo. Later, Satomi keeps her distance due to Shinichi's changed behavior. While tailing Hideo, Yuko uncovers his shape-shifting abilities and informs her brother, Haruki. The following day, Yuko confronts Hideo in the art classroom, armed with paint thinner for protection. When he attacks, she throws it at him, causing Hideo to lose control and go on a violent rampage. An evacuation begins, but Shinichi returns to find Satomi and escorts her to safety. Meiji detects Hideo on the rooftop, prompting Shinichi to position himself 300 meters away on another building's rooftop. With Meiji's help, they hurl a rock through Hideo's chest, ending his life. The aftermath reveals Hideo's massacre of 17 victims, including students, teachers, and police officers. In a top-secret government meeting, they decide to conceal the existence of parasites. Dr. Yi, a scientist, reveals that parasites can be identified by plucking live hair, leading to a unique form of greeting where people exchange strands of hair. Shinichi reconciles with Satomi, who thanks him for saving her. However, Shinichi hesitates to disclose the truth about his condition to Kana, who can sense his presence but denies noticing any change in him. Meanwhile, a disguised parasite named Goto eliminates 22 armed members of a Yakuza group, testing his combat skills without using parasite abilities. Shinichi begins feeling that Meiji has truly merged with him, notably experiencing chest pain while on a date with Satomi after witnessing a mother about to harm her child. As tensions rise, Kana becomes disheartened after spotting Shinichi kissing Satomi goodbye. Miki senses 8 parasites involved in Takeshi Hirakawa's campaign for mayor, focused on environmental causes. Despite Hirakawa sensing Shinichi's presence, Miki can't grasp the politician's true intentions. Shinichi and Meiji speculate that Hirakawa might aim to create a safe space for parasites, raising concerns about Kana's safety due to her unique abilities. Shinichi tries to warn Kana about parasites, but she dismisses it as a joke. He promises to show Meiji to her someday. Later, Miki reveals that Kana emits a signal detectable by parasites, putting her at risk. Shinichi plans to reveal Meiji's true form to Kana, but cancels upon detecting parasites nearby. Kana, relying on her instincts, heads to the abandoned building assuming Shinichi's presence, only to encounter a parasite attacking her. Shinichi arrives in time, filled with rage, and kills the parasite to save Kana, but tragically, Kana dies in his arms. At her funeral, Shinichi remains eerily composed, raising doubts about his humanity. The suspense grows as dangers lurk in unexpected places, putting Shinichi's moral compass to the test. Mayor Hirakawa gathers a group of parasites to discuss the incident involving the rogue parasite that killed Kana and Reiko Tamura, formerly Ryoko Tamiya, suggesting Shinichi's involvement. Reiko hires a private investigator, Shiro Kuramori, to follow Shinichi, hoping to expose his secret. She also arranges for thugs to attack him, but fails to reveal Shinichi's right hand. Meanwhile, Satomi remains uneasy about Shinichi's nighttime actions. Kuramori, following Shinichi, witnesses Meiji but escapes when Shinichi intervenes. Reviewing Kuramori's footage, Shinichi realizes he's being watched. Days later, Shinichi encounters the wounded Kuramori still tailing him. Seeking Satomi's understanding, Shinichi plans to disclose the truth but hesitates, straining their relationship further. He seeks Mamoru's help to capture and interrogate Kuramori. When Kuramori tells Reiko about the attack by Shinichi's hand, she dismisses his claim. Shinichi and Mamoru abduct Kuramori to the abandoned building, where Shinichi recounts the events leading to Kana's tragic demise. The plot thickens as secrets unravel, friendships fracture, and Shinichi's world becomes increasingly entangled in perilous mysteries. Kuramori remains suspicious until Meiji threatens him, unveiling Reiko as a fellow parasite. Shinichi confronts Reiko on a university rooftop, where she discusses parasites' evolution towards coexistence with humans, albeit in an imbalanced way. A fortune teller advises Shinichi to find closure by locating the person who harmed his heart, but he finds it ironic, considering he's the one who killed that person, his mother. Mayor Hirokawa secures dining spaces for parasites within his group. Shinichi witnesses Kiwata, a parasite, murder an innocent woman in a parking garage. Although Shinichi and Meiji defeat Kiwata in a fierce battle recorded by Kuromori, the investigator decides to discard the footage and back out from investigating parasites. Shinichi vows to eliminate the parasites individually. Meanwhile, Hirokawa, viewing Shinichi as a threat, enlists Goto to eliminate him, setting the stage for a looming showdown filled with danger and suspense. Shinichi senses 3 parasites coming to kill him, but Meiji falls asleep, leaving Shinichi to flee for 4 hours until Meiji wakes. A parasite sent by Hirokawa catches up just as Meiji awakens and reveals that 3 parasites share the body called Miki. Miki overwhelms Shinichi and Meiji, prompting them to escape into the woods. They manage to decapitate Miki, only to find out Miki is part of Goto, composed of 5 parasites spread across limbs and the head. Shinichi escapes by hitching a ride and, with Meiji's help, fends off Goto. Hearing news of Kuromori's tragic loss, Shinichi warns his father to leave home to stay safe from potential danger. The danger escalates as Shinichi faces formidable foes and tries to protect his loved ones from the looming threats of the parasite's onslaught. Detective Hirama, aware of the parasites, interrogates the traumatized Kuromori. Meanwhile, Reiko scolds 3 members of Hirokawa's group for attacking Kuromori's family, but failing to eliminate him. They distrust Reiko for viewing humans as stronger than they anticipated. Kuromori tracks down Reiko, but Kusano, Kakawa, and Masaiwa corner her, planning her demise. However, Reiko cleverly kills Kakawa and Masaiwa by leaving parts of herself inside them. She outsmarts Kusano too, eliminating him. Returning home, Reiko discovers her son kidnapped by Kuromori, who leaves a note for Shinichi to meet at the park. Satomi, worried about Shinichi, tries to follow Reiko, but loses track. At the park, Kuromori threatens to harm Reiko's son, accusing her of being a ruthless creature. In a struggle, Reiko stabs Kuromori, saving her son as Kuromori falls to his death. As it snows, Shinichi confronts Reiko, who explains her research showing parasites and humans are part of one biosystem. Accused of being a parasite and Kuromori's murderer, Reiko is shot at repeatedly by Hiroma and his men until she succumbs to the gunfire. The tensions between humans and parasites escalate as secrets unravel, leading to a tragic and climactic confrontation between Shinichi and Reiko. Reiko entrusts her son to Shinichi before passing away, stirring emotions in him as he recalls lost friends. Sadly witnesses Shinichi display emotions, raising suspicions about him. Hiroma takes Shinichi to an interrogation room to meet Uragami, a serial killer who claims to identify parasites but fails to find anything odd about Shinichi. At a police meeting, plans to eliminate parasites are announced. Yamagishi, the new tactical officer, leads the operation, dismissing Uragami's help. Shinichi returns to school and is approached by Hiroma to assist, upsetting Satomi. Acting on Meiji's advice, Shinichi suggests using flamethrowers against parasites, but Yamagishi's team opts to target their hearts. Yamagishi's forces surround a building suspected to house parasites, evacuating civilians while scanning for parasites. They identify one in a woman and shoot her, believing it's a parasite, causing a lethal outcome. The tension escalates as the operation intensifies, leading to ethical and moral dilemmas in the battle against the hidden threat of parasites. Hirokawa and the parasites detect the trap set by the squad. As 2 parasites leave the building, the squad opens fire, damaging their high-tech equipment. Yamagishi's forces storm the building, leading to a chaotic encounter where they unintentionally sacrifice lives, allowing Hirokawa and his group to escape. Yamagishi and Origami encounter parasites, leading Yamagishi to prioritize eliminating them over civilian lives. Goto easily defeats the assault squad, showcasing his unique abilities. In a surprising twist, Hirokawa, believed to be a parasite, turns out to be human. Goto arrives, decimating Yamagishi's squad and leading to heavy casualties. Origami shoots Hirama's partner and escapes, while Yamagishi's squad fails to defeat Goto and retreats to the rooftop. Goto encounters Shinichi, vowing to kill him before leaving. The next day, Shinichi, tormented by visions of Goto, breaks down but finds solace when Satomi reaches out to him. Seeking refuge, they find comfort in each other, renewing Shinichi's determination to survive. Meiji detects Goto pursuing them, leading to a failed attempt to kill him using a car crash. Another plan in a forest fails, and Meiji sacrifices itself to save Shinichi, allowing him to escape. The battle against Goto takes a toll, resulting in sacrifices and harrowing setbacks for Shinichi, who finds fleeting solace amid the chaos. Heartbroken, Shinichi finds refuge with an elderly woman named Mitsuyo. While staying with her, he discovers a remnant of Meiji still within him. Hearing about a villager's dismemberment, Shinichi realizes Goto is responsible. Despite Mitsuyo's warnings, Shinichi decides to confront Goto alone, armed only with an old cleaver. In the forest, Shinichi finds Goto asleep and attempts to attack him. However, Goto easily overpowers Shinichi, who manages to injure Goto using a metal pipe from an illegal waste dump. As Goto strikes back, a fragment of Meiji reappears from Shinichi's arm, reuniting with the rest of Meiji inside Goto's infected body. The other parasites within Goto rebel, seeking survival amid the chaos. After Meiji gains an opportunity to destroy Goto's body, Shinichi faces a tough decision: whether to let Goto live or end him for the sake of humanity. Reluctant but understanding the bigger picture, Shinichi decides to destroy Goto's body, leading to the cessation of the mincemeat murders and the disappearance of parasites a year later. In a dream, Shinichi bids farewell to Meiji, who enters hibernation, but Shinichi wakes up to a restored right hand. While on a date with Satomi, he ponders on the contradiction of humans loving Earth but not themselves. Later, Origami kidnaps Satomi, confronting Shinichi about the monsters within humanity. Satomi finally grasps Shinichi's true self. As Satomi teeters on the edge of a building, Meiji appears in Shinichi's mind, guiding him. Shinichi extends a helping hand to Satomi, pulling her to safety, ending the story on a hopeful note. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more.